Hello and welcome back to another video on Block 7. Today we continue to discuss about Gather and we will look at what Gather Enterprise and Gather Cloud is. In our video today we will also look at the utility of the GTH token and where the demand for the GTH token comes from. So let's get started. In our previous video we covered what Gather Online is and we went through some high-level details on Gather Network. If you haven't watched the first video, then you should watch it. Link is in the description below. All right, let's start with Gather Cloud. Gather Cloud is a unique solution offered to take advantage of the processing power gained from publishers and applications to the benefit of businesses. Gather Cloud provides an alternate mechanism or an alternate source of processing power obtained at a significantly lower cost and higher flexibility in use coming from Gather's network of publishers. This will essentially lower operational costs for enterprises from processing said data and allow proof of work blockchain developers to initiate their chains without mining. So, in essence, the processing power collected from the website users runs through the Gather network and is shared with enterprises that use the Gather network, as well as it is shared with developers who are running their own chains, so that these developers don't need to find any miners or do any mining themselves. So that is what Gather Cloud is. And now let's take a look at what Gather Enterprise is. So Gather Enterprise is simply the front door for enterprises and companies to onboard themselves onto the Gather network and use Gather's services. Gather will integrate a one-stop shop for all related crypto issuance needs of companies. This will give enterprises the option to develop and launch their product or service on the GTH chain, which is payable in US dollars. The chain launch, development, and mining are all covered under the service capabilities. Let's now take a look at Gather's utility and where does the demand for GTH come from. The GTH token will have a number of uses within the network. The native token of Gather network is used as a medium of exchange, as well as use cases such as gas fees, network interaction charges, settlement and processing power related charges for the Gather cloud. In addition to that, GTH also handles the settlement of Gather Online rewards, incentive for Masternodes, and staking, as well as e-governance for voting on the token's future. GTH token holders can vote on the future of Gather through governance. In any changes that the Gather team proposes, which goes in for a vote, token holders can vote towards an outcome. Publishers benefit from receiving GTH token by sharing their processing power. They receive the GTH token as a reward. Auxiliary chains or child chains are a big deal for the Gather ecosystem. Child chains are projects that are onboarded onto the Gather network, where the hash rate from publishers will be offered to add security to these chains and reduce the chance of 51% attacks. The more the projects use Gather chain, the higher the demand for GTH token, as all fees generated will be paid in GTH. These projects will either have GRC utility tokens on Gather network or their own blockchains, which is Gather child chains. If child chains decide to pay their fees in their respective native token, then the amount of the same value will be used to buy back GTH from the market. The Gather team have been working on getting fresh incubators join the Gather network. In a latest tweet by Reggie, there are nearly 10 projects in queue for development and incubation. The first incubation project that is likely to kick off on the Gather network is Paid to Go. The seed round for this project has been completed, and very soon a private sale will also be announced. GTH holders can participate in these token sales as well. We shall get into more detail on incubators and how to take part in the token sale in another video very soon. Let's now talk about masternodes and staking. There are 98 masternodes as of now. Each masternode requires 250,000 Gather tokens to be staked. A Gather masternode is a 24/7/365 dedicated server connected to the blockchain network, which adds an additional layer of stability and two additional levels of functionality to the network. The additional functions are increased transaction speed and enablement of Gather services. The Masternodes feature is built to enhance Gather's security capability and will be available to verified and vetted business and government institutions and will act as a secure information gateway on the blockchain. Any wallet or transaction on the Masternode will be encrypted with the IP address auto-changed. These wallets and transactions are invisible to prying eyes to meet institutional level security prerequisites. Gather nodes make the backbone of the network. For example, staking 250,000 Gather tokens and running a node provides a valuable amount of GTH tokens that can rack up a yearly reward of up to 100% in the case of the first 80 nodes. This will ultimately decrease to around 40% by the time they reach 200 active nodes. Stakers at all levels will be able to run nodes and lock their GTH tokens into their wallets, making them earn even more GTH. Also, another important thing to note is 20% of the earnings from clients on Gather Cloud will be used into a GTH buyback and burn scheme, which puts more pressure on the overall token supply. If people are interested in Masternodes and staking, then there are also shared nodes where you can stake lower amounts of GTH tokens, something ranging in the amounts of 10,000 GTH per shared node. If you are looking for a masternode or interested to opt in for a shared node, they are currently available only on OpenSea to buy but are very expensive. Gather Network officially allocated a few masternodes and shared nodes recently by following a lottery process, where interested investors were required to register and do their KYC to be able to enter the lottery. The decision of the lottery was again managed via a governance voting proposal where the community voted for a lottery. Gather has also introduced an NFT for all masternode holders. The NFT tokens will represent the tier number, token amount, type of the node if it's a full or a shared node, with design content specific to each tier and node type. This allows the masternode holder to trade his NFT instead of selling the tokens in the market. This idea helps in avoiding GTH token to be dumped suddenly on the open market if a masternode holder wants to withdraw or sell his tokens. At the moment, these NFTs are tradable in the OpenSea platform. Once the NFT is sold on OpenSea, the NFT holder will lose his access to the NFT and the staked tokens as well, while the buyer receives the key and will have access to the masternode dashboard and to the staked tokens. So ideally, the price you pay for buying a masternode is for the token value as well as the NFT. And I think some sellers also factor the rewards or ROI they get, and that's why it's pretty expensive. So masternodes are one way to earn more GTH. The other option to earn GTH is to stake GTH tokens on SNDX exchange for a 29.68% APY, which I would say is an excellent ROI. In addition to staking on an exchange, you can also earn GTH by providing liquidity on Uniswap for the ETH GTH pair. Another latest and exciting update is that Gather has launched its token onto the Binance Smart Chain network, which allows users to not only buy GTH on PancakeSwap, avoiding the unbelievably high gas fees on the Ethereum network when you use Uniswap, but users can also be able to provide liquidity to the BNB GTH pair on BSC, enabling you to earn more GTH rewards. In fact, the reward pool for BSC liquidity pool is 23,000 GTH tokens per day, while the reward pool for Uniswap has been reduced from a 28,000 GTH per day to about 20,000 GTH per day. So now you know what Gather is made up of and the utility behind the GTH token. and also the rewards and passive income that Gather holders can make. If you watched both our videos on Gather Network, you will for sure not miss the next one. The next video will cover updates and what's coming for Gather. Massive updates from the Gather team, which we believe will have an impact to the price of the GTH token and might allow it to retest its all-time highs very soon. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe and click the notification icon. Take care and stay safe. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.